Members of Parliament, support staff, visitors in the public tribune, radio listeners, TV viewers, all tuned in to this meeting via social media, members of the media, welcome to this public meeting for today, Thursday, September the 19th. This is public meeting number 4, and we have a quorum of 9 members. Please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. We have received notice of absence from the member Marlin, and I look to the floor now to see if there are any notifications at this time. That not being the case, we continue with the agenda for this public meeting of Parliament. We have 2 agenda points for this meeting, namely incoming documents, as well as agenda point number 2, which is the closing of the parliamentary term, February 24 to September 24. Agenda point number 1, incoming documents. Members, you have received the list of incoming documents and the proposals for further handling. These are the registered numbers 1029 through 1046. So 1029 to 1046 of the parliamentary year 23-24. Is there any member who wishes to speak to the topic of the incoming documents? That appears not to be the case, so thank you, members of Parliament. And with this, the list and the proposals for handling are approved. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, we go over to agenda point number 2. Today, this Parliament is gathered for the last public meeting of this parliamentary term, February 24th to September 24th. This parliamentary term began on February 10th, 2024. Of course, as I say, the last public meeting, we have agreed in a public meeting earlier today that we will finalize that public meeting. That was the one on matters pertaining to the airport and the harbor, and the minister will return at 3 o'clock in order to answer to those questions posed in the second round. However, in this meeting here, at agenda point number 2, as I mentioned, it is the closing of the parliamentary term, February 24th, so 2024, and to September 2024. Article 46 of the Constitution of St. Martin stipulates that the duration of the Parliament shall be 4 years. This Parliament sat on Monday, February the 10th, 2024. This would have meant that in a regular situation, the curtains of this parliamentary term would have come down on February 10th, 2028. However, due to the calling of early parliamentary elections by the government on May 21st of this year, in accordance with Article 59, paragraph 2 of the Constitution, the St. Martin electorate was called to return to the polls on August 19, 2024. In accordance with the aforementioned article, Article 56 of the Constitution, the National Decree of May 21st of this year, LB 24/401, which was amended by the National Decree of May 27th of this year, that LB was number 24/406, and the election results of August 19th, the new Parliament will be sworn in and sit for the first time tomorrow, Friday, September the 20th, 2024. Of the current 15 members of Parliament, 5 members of this Parliament will not be returning in the new Parliament. This loss represents a significant amount of experience and knowledge. However, also along with the 10 returning members, there will be members who in the past have been a member of Parliament, those who have been ministers, one has been an Island Council member, and many, though new, are all dedicated to working for the people of St. Martin. So as we approach the end of this very short parliamentary term, this midnight, it is a perfect opportunity for us all to reflect on the past 7 months. With this in mind, this meeting was convened this afternoon to allow us all the opportunity to address Parliament and the people of St. Martin on this occasion. The speaking time for this agenda point has been set to 1 round of 10 minutes for every member of Parliament. I look now at the speakers list and see no one having signed in. Members of Parliament, this is a public meeting of Parliament, and thus, if you wish to speak, it would have to be indicated on the speakers list. I await the opportunity for MP Duran to sign in as a speaker this afternoon. MP Duran, you have the floor. MP Duran, I beg your indulgence as I will adjourn this meeting for 5 minutes just to make sure that we get some technical issues that we're understanding that we have to get them out of the way. So the meeting is adjourned for 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I now reopen this meeting of Parliament. We had just started with the speakers list on agenda point number 2 of this meeting, and which is the closing of the parliamentary term, and members are allowed the opportunity in this meeting to speak in one round with a maximum time of 10 minutes. The first MP to sign in to speak is MP Duran, and I invite him to take the floor at this time. MP Duran, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Khafir, members of Parliament, those of you in the Tribune, and those of you in through the different forms of media. Madam Chair, as we bring the end to this Parliament term, actually, to a close, we reflect on the challenges that we face and the milestones that we have achieved. And we had a bit of a, let's say, some political turmoil going back and forth, but through it all, Parliament has strived to make the best decisions in the best interest of the people, with resilience and unity guiding us. While the road ahead remains filled with challenges, we take pride in the progress made so far, not just in the last term, but I also believe the term before that. Our focus should be on our economy. On the meeting we had yesterday, GB, I believe the significance of how GB will impact us going forward is a little bit underestimated. Strengthening of our healthcare system, we had a meeting about that also this week. So I believe we had the most important meetings already this week. Also our government-owned companies, and ensuring the welfare of our citizens has laid the groundwork for a strong St. Martin. The dedication of each member of Parliament in serving the needs of our communities has been a testament to our collective responsibility, and that will be so going forward. As we prepare for the next chapter in our nation's governance, let us carry forward the lessons learned and remain committed to the values of service, integrity, and progress. Together, I hope we can continue to work for a brighter future for St. Martin. The call from a few MPs have been to unite and work together and support each other, and that's something that I will do. I believe it's also something that was not necessarily offered to us when we were in government, but we will not be the same opposition that was there before. Again, we will hold the Parliament accountable. We will bring solutions, and we will, of course, support when necessary. As mentioned before also, we do come with at least 3 ministers in the past that have knowledge of the last 4.5 years. We hope that ideas and solutions and projects that we brought forward would not be stopped, but actually be pushed forward, and I look forward to continue to support those. Madam Chair, I also want to say thank you to my colleagues that will not be with us as of tomorrow. I'd like to say, I see MP Otley walking in now, and I did promise him to continue to guide him as a new MP. But I also look forward to his support going forward. My other colleagues, Emmanuel, Mingret, and Akim Arundel, and also to my leader, MP Jacobs. And for my leader, I'd like to say today marks the close of a significant chapter in her journey of her leadership and her service for us as a party. Having faithfully served this nation in various capacities since 2012, her legacy stands tall as a testament to the values of dedication, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the people of St. Martin. As the outgoing leader of the National Alliance, MP Jacobs' contributions have been numerous and impactful. She took up the mantle of leadership at a time when our party and country faced considerable challenges, guiding us through storms, both literal and metaphorical, with resilience and fortitude. Under her inclusive leadership, the National Alliance not only weathered tough times, but emerged stronger, remaining the most trusted party on the island. Her tenure as Prime Minister, her role as Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, and her multiple terms as a Member of Parliament reflect a deep, lifelong dedication to public service Through her leadership, MP Jacobs ensured that our party remained focused on the principles of social democracy, working in the interest of all St. Martiners, especially during difficult periods like the aftermath of the hurricane and the global pandemic. As we recognize her stepping down from the role, let us not forget that this is not an end, but a new beginning. MP Jacobs remains a part of the National Alliance family, offering her wisdom, experience, and unwavering support from within our community. While she may not be seated here in Parliament in the next term, I know, or we know, that her work is far from over, and she will continue to serve St. Martin with the same dedication and love she has shown over the past decade. To MP Jacobs, I'd like to say thank you for your sacrifice, your leadership, and your vision as you pass the torch. As you pass the torch over, we are ready to move forward on the new leadership, but with the same shared goals, the progress and the prosperity of our beloved island. Your legacy will remain an enduring part of St. Martin's political history. On behalf of the people, the Parliament, and the National Alliance, we extend our deepest gratitude. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we know that wherever life takes you, next, you will continue to uplift this nation in ways big and small. Thank you, MP Jacobs, for your service, and you'll be forever appreciated. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for those words, MP Duran, and the members of Parliament. Is there another member who is going to speak? There was some discussion about who will follow, but that has been solved right now with MP Melissa signing in to speak, and I await the MP. MP Melissa Gums, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon to you, Khifir, my colleagues, those joining us in the Tribune, and those joining us online. Madam Chair Lady, as you yourself mentioned, is definitely a strange time in our political arena. It certainly feels, at least to my recollection, like the shortest parliamentary term in our history, both pre and post 10-10-10. But of course, I'll have to check with our political historians such as yourself to confirm if my assumption is correct. I said almost everything I had to say in the public meeting where we closed the parliamentary year, Madam Chair Lady. So I'll simply use my time to wish those departing our ranks much grace and to wish them well. Firstly, to MP Emmanuel, though he's not here, though we did not necessarily see eye to eye politically on many things, I do hold respect for those instances where your points did hit as they should, and I wish you much success in whatever endeavor you undertake. To MP Maingret, I wish you greater discernment and wisdom when choosing those you confide in and receive advice from, because it is one thing our particular arena unfortunately proves time and time again. It is that genuine, honest camaraderie is difficult to come by, and you should look at everybody twice before moving forward with them. To MP Marlin, I'm happy that you made it, because I was going to wish you a speedy recovery. But still, speedy recovery, but I appreciate you being here, and I also appreciate you handling the stake debt that you inherited from your predecessor in the MP Marlin Parliament seat. Stake, yes. Stake. To MP Arundel, I did not get to know you very well, but I also wish you much success in whatever it is you choose to do. And to MP Jacobs, as a woman in any male-dominated area, it is always difficult to strike that balance between what some may call the parental instincts of leadership and the necessity to separate what is right from what is popular. Though we may not have agreed always on a political front, I made it a point as a woman member of Parliament and a woman in this arena to support you on those points where we did agree, even if it was not always in front of you, and even to those who would detract from your leadership for reasons that had nothing to do with politics and everything to do with the personal. I appreciate you trying, however difficult it was, to maintain the integrity of the Office of the Prime Minister, and I look forward to your continued contributions to our political arena, most notably in the guidance of those coming in to replace you. And for the incoming members of Parliament, I also urge you to practice great discernment, wisdom, and pragmatism, and I'll repeat this to them tomorrow if they're not listening right now. When approaching this job in here, if you do it well, sleep should never be a thing that comes to you easily when you confront the realities facing the average St. Martiner and the majority of our population. And with that, Madam Chair, I hope that we can all now focus on those urgent matters that need to be addressed. And I would also like, as MP Duran said, to not be an opposition of before, but like the opposition of before, also come together on things that are good for the country and keeping it together no matter who or what approaches you. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP Melissa Gums. The next speaker is MP Cloyd Marlin. MP Marlin, Onde, you have the, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to my colleague, members of Parliament. Today I wasn't going to speak. Actually, I wasn't showing up for the meeting, actually, because I'm still under the weather. But like my colleague said in our first meeting, show up. So, of course, indeed, I had to take those words of advice and show up. I had something written for the media, but I'll just read it out here. As I conclude my first and short-lived term as a member of Parliament, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to the voters of St. Martin for entrusting me with the privilege of serving the people from February until today, August 19, 2024, but September 19, 2024. Your support has been a driving force in my work as an MP, which I have taken seriously from day one. But I also remain humbled by the opportunity to represent you all of St. Martin. My thanks goes out as well to the board and leadership of the National Alliance for granting me the opportunity to be part of this historical journey that ended prematurely following the recent snap elections in August. I appreciate my fellow candidates who campaigned tirelessly, securing votes that contributed to my election, especially since my own tally of 406 votes in January would not have been sufficient to win my seat outright. As I step away from my role and responsibilities as a member of Parliament, this is not a goodbye. I want to assure the people of St. Martin that I intend to return ready and able and willing to continue serving as your MP in the interim. In the interim, I will continue to assess where we went wrong as a political party, losing over 2,000 votes and 3 seats in 2 elections. I intend to remain active as your voice across different media platforms, advocating for issues that matter most to our people. I take this time to reflect on the challenges we face today, particularly in matters such as the state of affairs at GB. The constant internal disagreements within the coalition, and now even within parties, have left my citizens searching for real solutions. While a new coalition has been formed following the people's mandate, let us not forget the true purpose of holding office, working for all of the people, not just those who voted for us. I will be watching, listening, and preparing myself for the future. When the next election is called, I will be even more ready and better prepared to once again represent you with the dedication you deserve. Thank you, St. Martin, and for your trust and support. The journey continues, and I look forward to serving you again soon. I thank you.
Thank you, MP Marlin, for your contribution. We await the next MP to sign in to the speakers list. That shall be MP Jacobs. MP Jacobs, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today marks the end of 12 years of service within the political arena for me, Silveria Jacobs. And as I stand here today to give my final speech as leader of the National Alliance and faction leader here in Parliament, I do so with gratitude, humility, and a sense of pride. I entered this political arena as Nadia and Tony's daughter, a simple Kobe girl who grew up in a two-room house, who attended the Leonard Connor School, a public school, and then the Milton Peters College, and went on to study in the Netherlands, and finally settling to finalize my studies at the University of the Virgin Islands, right here in the Caribbean. I am also, and have always been, well, always, for the most part, been a single mother of two children now grown and following their own paths, and the grandmother of a very bright 2-year-old. My humble beginnings, Madam Chair, being surrounded by authentic people willing to tell it like it is, a mother determined to see her children achieve more than her 6th grade education, a mother who believed that education was the key to success and ensured that we were exposed to positive activities, coupled with my drive and work ethic to be the best that I could be for my family, led me to being in a position of trust, enabling me to encourage and empower all of us to realize the power within each of us to make a difference in the forward movement and growth of sweet St. Martin. Like I told the 7-year-olds in Miss James' class at Mac John A. Gumbs campus this morning, readers are leaders, and you, those little 7-year-olds, can make a difference with the smallest act of kindness and or sharing, even as a child. It is my dedication to educating the whole child that motivated me to seek political office for the first time back in 2010, after serving for 20 years in education, 16 in the classroom and 4 in management. As Minister of ECYS in 2012-13, elected for the first time in 2014, growing from some 392 votes in 2010 to 972 in 2014, I got the opportunity to also serve as Member of Parliament for the first time, 10 years ago. I did so until 2015, when I went back to be the Minister of ECYS after a change in government, until the devastation of Hurricane Irma in 2017 saw another fall of government and sent me back to Parliament after the elections of 2018. Also in 2018, I took over the leadership of the National Alliance. And after another change in government in 2019, was appointed Prime Minister and Minister of General Affairs, and secured that position once again in 2020 after another election. Of course, going right into the pandemic, and we know the history of that. That was the first stable government, which lasted until January 2024, when I was once again re-elected, and we all know the story as was recounted by the chair as to why we are now here. Here on the eve of a new parliament being sworn in as a result of the second election of 2024. Unfortunately, I, for the first time in 10 years, will not be in that group of elected representatives. It is a truly humbling fact. I have always lived and worked with a high level of integrity, transparency, and I believe an unmatched work ethic. In fact, several times during my tenureship as Prime Minister, my own daughter had to remind me, you go at 300%, and therefore look at those who go in 100% as not doing enough. So I had to learn how to reduce my expectations. But my goal, Madam Chair, people of St. Martin, was to make a difference. And while I didn't meet all my own lofty targets for myself, I do believe that I have done exactly that, made a difference for the time that was granted to me. For this, I am extremely grateful. I feel blessed, tremendously blessed, to have had the opportunity, because that is what it is, an opportunity to serve the people of St. Martin at this level. I want to take this time to thank Member of Parliament, former Member of Parliament and leader of the National Alliance, William Marlin, one of the founders of the then SPA, forerunner of the, SPM, forerunner of the SPA-NA, who was my teacher, mentor, principal, and my first boss upon my return to the island after finishing my studies. It is from watching him and Mrs. Mavis Salmon Brooks, that my inspiration grew to serve beyond the classroom. Just as these two very influential and iconic people impacted my life, I strove to impact the lives of others. My leadership was built upon the principle that all voices matter, inclusivity aimed at building future leaders. So I am proud today, Madam Chair, that despite dropping a seat as a result of the reset election in August, the lessons learned will help to grow the party. The maturity of the electorate, as well as hopefully the elected members and all others still vying to represent the people of St. Martin. I looked forward back in January to serving for 4 years, even in opposition, as it turned out to be. However, that time is now cut short. However, yes, and I pray, I hope and I pray that the 15 incoming MPs and government to be appointed will work diligently towards the continuous building of our nation. We are still a very young and developing island state. I've said this a lot of times. And we must give ourselves the grace to do so within the constraints we face, while striving to gain more and more financial independence to literally handle our own business. I want to stress the need to focus on the importance of education, the sustainable development and building financial resilience in building a nation we can all be proud of, one that will serve this and all future generations. I would like to add that the need for electoral reform and minimizing the impact of and even disinformation has never been more glaring, more needed, and more of a priority. It is a disservice to the people of St. Martin, who we beg for their votes to lead this country and do so based on untruths, stretched truths, and plain out lies. We see this happening all around the world, in the US even, and definitely it has played a role in my demise, among other factors, of course. So we must address electoral reform with the responsibility to put parties more in charge of what they put forward. And I look forward to contributing to such as Citizen Jacobs. This will require true political maturity and a willingness to fix what is not working, because it is most certainly broken. And it also asks those who have benefited from it to be the agents of that change. I'd like to admonish and encourage government and parliament to truly collaborate to get this done in this term. I see them signaling me. So in closing, it has been an honor for me. I had more to say, but I guess I'll have to write it. It has been an honor for me to serve this country over the past 32 years as a teacher, student care coordinator, principal, minister, policy advisor, member of parliament, minister of general affairs, and prime minister from 2012 to present. I came in green, eager and ready to get my hands dirty to improve the quality of life, learning, and living for the people of St. Martin. I wish the members of parliament, appointed members of the executive branch, much wisdom, strength, courage, and success to take decisions, especially the tough ones, with the big picture in mind, a vision of what we are working towards. Nothing worth having comes easy. You have to put in the work. Recognize the weight of the responsibility you now hold, and the accountability to your bosses, the people of St. Martin. I've heard the phrase country above self so often these days, but I would really like you to each stop, think, and ask yourself if that is really what we're busy with. St. Martin is a small island developing state. We have been through crisis after crisis, those of the humankind and those by nature, which we as humans are also negatively impacting. Take the time to understand what is already done, ensure alignment and collaboration between ministers and ministries, and validate the hard work of our civil servants while holding each other accountable for the execution of this agenda. The experience gained and lessons learned along the way can never be taken away from me, and I will continue to serve St. Martin in whatever function is required of me. I'm a daughter of the soil who dared to dream, who worked hard, and will continue to work hard, as it will take all of us, brothers and sisters, working together for St. Martin to continue to grow. Thank you, and I look forward to serving St. Martin in the next chapter of my life.
Thank you, MP Jacobs, for those inspiring and heartfelt words. And I continue and I offer the floor to MP Duran for his remarks during this session of Parliament. MP Duran, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon once again to you, my colleagues, persons in the Tribune, and the people of St. Martin. First and foremost, Madam Chair Lady, I would like to thank God and the people of St. Martin for granting me the opportunity to serve you in the past 6 years. It has been and it is an honor and a privilege to serve this beloved nation. I also want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my colleagues, those that are staying and also those that are leaving, with whom I've had a pleasure of working with for a long and a short period of time. Together we have accomplished a lot, yet there is still much more to be accomplished together. Our country needs all of us, and we need to be committed and continue to work tirelessly to move our country forward together. As we enter this new parliamentary term, as we enter this new parliamentary year a few days ago, I look forward to many great things we can achieve together for our beloved country, from strengthening our economy and creating jobs improvement, and also improving our healthcare, ensuring better access to education, prioritizing climate action to create a sustainable future. Together, we can continue to build a strong nation, more resilient nation for all. I would like to also thank Ms. Henrietta Duran York, Mr. William V. Marlin, Mr. Leonard Priest, to my outgoing colleague, Cloyd Marlin, and all the other stakeholders, and last but not least, the people of St. Martin, who supported in one way or another for me to be here today as I stand in front of you. As I assume the role of deputy leader, or leader then, because I am the deputy leader of the National Alliance with the resignation of my colleague, MP Sylvia Jacobs, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for allowing me and giving me the opportunity to run on this platform. I know that it has not been an easy road over the last couple of years. It was the hurricane and then the COVID, but say one, say two, you have led us through it. We work together as a team, and for that I am forever grateful. A lot of lessons learned, I will definitely take it forward, and I know for sure that you're just a phone call away. To my colleague, MP Cloyd Marlin, I know the same. With that being said, Madam Chair, I would like to say, on behalf of the National Alliance family, on behalf of the people of St. Martin that we serve, I would like to thank MP Jacobs for her service and present her with a token of appreciation. So I took up a minute of the speaking time, but all in all, I believe that the message has been clear. Indeed, we have to do a lot of self-reflection as a party and as a country on a whole, and I believe that say one, say two, better days are ahead. I wish all my colleagues that are leaving much success in their future endeavors, and God bless the people of St. Martin. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP Egbert Duran, for your contribution to the discussions here in this, what can be considered the closing meeting of this parliamentary term. And I continue, and I give the floor to MP Kotai. MP Kotai, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to all my colleagues, those in the Tribune and those viewing on social media. 122 days have gone up till now since I officially sworn into Parliament under the Democratic Party. In these 122 days, we've had a roller coaster of events, and it is to my belief that we are still mid-ride with the continuous issues. Although we are looking today at a premature closing of the term due to circumstances well placed in the public domain, with every close, there is a new beginning. Sometimes you have to accept the fact that things will not go back to how they used to be, and that the ending is really a new beginning. I would encourage all incoming MPs to work together in this next parliamentary term to mitigate the cries of our people. I would like to thank MP Jacobs, MP Emmanuel, MP Arundel, MP Mingret, and a special thank you to MP Marlin for coining the famous term, biscuit. I wish everyone the best, and I look forward to continuing the work for our people of St. Martin. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Kotai. I now give the floor to MP Roseberg. MP Roseberg, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Secretary General, colleagues present here today, the ones in the public, the ones viewing online, a blessed day. As I humbly reflect on this short but yet noteworthy parliamentary term, I find myself doing some self-reflection as well. Where could I have done better? Where could I have improved? Seeking these answers has taught me the importance of being critical yet true to myself. Each day, I look in the mirror and hold myself accountable to the promises I've made to the people of St. Martin. As a representative who is committed, value-driven, and serves with integrity. Entering as a rookie, I have been learning to navigate into the complexities of politics. I've discovered not to judge a book by its cover, to form my own opinions, to ask questions rather than assume, and to approach every challenge with resilience. I've grown by learning from my colleagues and embracing the importance of working across party lines for the greater good. Not only preaching, but especially acting on country above self, ensuring that every decision made serves all the people of St. Martin. As I continue to develop in my role, I'm finding my balance in communicating both as a lawyer and as a member of parliament. Both roles require strong advocacy, but in the legislative hall, as we are here today, is not just about winning arguments. It's about building bridges, fostering dialogue, and putting country first. As we close this term, I wish those not returning much success in the future endeavors. I got a chance to get to know most of you all on a one-on-one level, and I appreciate that. I also remain open for feedback and advice that can further develop our country's progress. To my colleagues who are returning, I look forward to collaborating, whether in coalition or opposition, united in our goal to build a stronger St. Martin. In these past few months, we have submitted law amendments, and I expect us to work together to ensure the effective implementation. Let's continue to inform and empower the people of St. Martin, same as we're doing during election. Let's make Parliament cool again. Tomorrow, let's strive to making the coming term last 4 years, delivering long-lasting legislative results for our country. As a wise reminder, success isn't measured by what we achieve, but by the obstacles we overcome. Thank you for this opportunity, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Roseberg, for your contribution. The next speaker is MP Otley. MP Otley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, pleasant day to the viewing and listening public, the people in the Tribune, and my colleagues. Today marks a new era if you look, you see a transition in Parliament. It's a new time, but to know where you're going, you have to know where you come from. And I say to you, MP Jacobs, I know this won't be the last. I have served beside you in the Council of Ministers, and you have been a chairperson of the Council of Ministers that I can say did not play politics. At one point, I was the only minister that represented the United People's Party, and never have I felt outcast by any of the ministers in there. If there was an agreement, and I was in disagreement, we would be put on hold for my one explanation, and we would move forward. So I know the type of person you are. This time, a lot of us should use to self-reflect. It was a very, very complex election. A lot of people did not understand the work that we put in as the Council of Ministers during a pandemic, during one of the worst times in the world. So one thing I do believe is that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes it's time to step back and give other people a chance. And if they can do it better, kudos to them. And if they can't, then the people will ultimately be the judge. So I say that to say this. I wish you all the best. I will also be texting you for advice. I'm a short-lived new leader. And with that being said, I don't stand here on my own merit because I did not pull a seat on my own outright. So I would like to thank publicly every individual that ran on the United People's Party slate. I have always said it, and I will continue to preach it. Once you postulate yourself, I have the utmost respect for you. My colleague to the right of me, MP Lacruz, I thank you for sticking with me, thick and thin. And to MP Arundel, I wish you nothing but the best. But as I stand here, as a legislator now, as a member of Parliament, we need to legislate. Because too much we have seen political interference, and that is what I will call it. Because election is over and I'm not hearing a peep or anything being publicized about MP Arundel. And it's every time an election is on the brink, here comes the interference. But again, everything is in due time. And it'll be remiss of me to not publicly state that we need to come together and legislate to protect St. Martin, protect our democracy. My colleague before me spoke about being able to work in cohesion, put party lines aside and work. And I must say, we have incoming MPs that will be here tomorrow. But as for now, I have seen a level of maturity that was not there in January and February. And I think this election really shifted the mind frame of a lot of our MPs. And the relationships that I have grown to have with fellow MPs who are in the coalition is actually amazing. The discussion of putting party lines aside and working together for motions and legislations. We will not agree with everything, and we will battle it out here on the floor, because you know me, I love a good battle. But when we do agree, I will stand and fight for you. I say this to the incoming MPs and the MPs that are still considered new. Remain true to yourself. Sometimes we get lost and we judge people based on the experience or the impression given by others. I say this, learn for yourself, because I find it so amazing. And I always say this. We choose not to work with MP Otley, but when the time is right, MP Otley is the one that is there to offer the support. MP Otley is the one that is there to fight for you, even though we are not on the same party. And MP Otley is willing to work with you to bring legislations, to bring whatever it needs to be done to push this country forward. So we will show St. Martin, as my good MP always say, Kotai, election is over, and we will show St. Martin the ability to work together, show St. Martin what Parliament can be. And if we disagree, so be it, we handle it here. But we respect each other, we handle it amicably and respectably. So to my colleagues, I wish you success, all of us that are swearing in tomorrow. May we have success. To those that are leaving, MP Emmanuel, MP Mingret, MP Arundel, MP Marlin, MP Silveria Jacobs, I know you'll be back in the race, especially knowing you, Mr. Marlin. You don't give up for nothing. So I know you'll be back. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that supported the United People's Party. I will have a lot more to say tomorrow as we are swearing in, but I just want to publicly thank my colleagues and everyone that ran on the party. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Otley. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another speaker. Yes, we do. The next speaker on the list is MP De Weiver, who I invite to take the floor. MP De Weiver, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of the MPs that are leaving at the end of this term, and especially to look back at MP Marlin and MP Jacobs and say that I'm pretty sure that they're going to show up here one more time. Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP De Weiver. I now invite MP Lacruz to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Honorable members of Parliament, esteemed colleagues, my family, people of St. Martin, and most important of all, Jehovah, the only true God, I thank you. I want to thank you for keeping me on the path that you have placed me. A special thanks to the previous party leader, Rolando Bryson. His confidence in me encouraged me and stood by me while others thought I couldn't. To my fellow party members, I want to tell you this. The 2 seats that we have gotten in this election belong to you. Thank you for always standing behind us and keeping us on the right path. As we stand at the close of this parliamentary year, it is with a sense of reflection that I hope that I address you today. The past 7 months has been marked by challenges, including the unfortunate short term of the Marcelina One coalition. While this was a period of political shifts, it is important that we draw lessons from it. The experience, while brief, highlights the dynamic nature of governance and the need for resilience in our political system. In light of these challenges, I am hopeful that we will continue to grow in political maturity. Our journey towards stability and progress does not end here. We have a responsibility to work together across party lines, something that I've heard many times, seen little of, for the betterment of our beloved St. Martin. The road ahead requires cooperation, vision, and a steadfast commitment to the people that we serve. Let us take the lesson of these few last months as a stepping stone towards a brighter future, one where political differences are secondary to the shared goals of moving St. Martin forward. I trust that in the coming parliamentary year, we will elevate our discourse and actions in a manner that reflects our commitment to our nation's prosperity. To the members of Parliament that will not be returning, MP Marlin, you will be missed, as you're the one member that has said the word controversy more than any other member of Parliament. I enjoyed hearing that. Member Christopher Emmanuel, watching you for years has taught me much. Never be afraid to call out when I believe that things are not right. I will add to that the solutions. To MP Mingret, your time here was short but very impactful. I have also learned from you. MP Jacobs, we will meet again. As we know, it's not the end of your political career. To my fellow party member, Akeem Arundel, your guidance will be missed. Shame will be placed on those who have made it their business to try and bring you down, as we know the impact that you have had on this party and what you have contributed to it. To my current leader, MP Otley, and this I don't need to read. It is not easy to explain what you have done for me as an individual, for the party, and the belief that you have had in me, and how you have pushed me forward every day, even before reaching here to Parliament. And for that, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. To all the members of Parliament, those leaving and those coming, may we continue to serve with integrity, and may the people of St. Martin always regain our central focus. Together we can overcome our challenges and build a future we can all be proud of. Merci, danke, gracias, and I thank you.
Thank you, MP Lacruz. I think now, except to myself, we have had everyone here, every member of Parliament, who have used the opportunity to express some words during this final meeting of this parliamentary year. So cognizant of the time, because we have another meeting scheduled and we also want to do a little something between now and that meeting, but I could not let this opportunity go by without expressing to all of my colleagues, firstly, for your cooperation and input during the shortest parliamentary term that we have known. And while it has been the shortest, I do believe that it has been one of the most intense political learning curve. And while I have on several occasions expressed my disappointment that so shortly after the election in January, the people of St. Martin had to go to the polls again, looking back, I believe that we have all learned from the past 7 months, which constitute the shortest parliamentary term that we have known. I want to take this opportunity to especially say a word of thanks and gratitude and extend best wishes to the members of Parliament who will not be returning in this coming term. And I stress this coming term because I too believe that many of them, this is not the last parliamentary term for them. So to MP Christophe Emmanuel, MP Kevin Mingret, MP Cloyd Marlin, MP Akeem Arundel, and MP Jacobs, I say thank you, because whether big or small, your input and participation made a difference in the last parliamentary term, and definitely those of you who have served longer than the last term, you have definitely made an impact. Your input, your participation in whichever way has had an impact on the Parliament of St. Martin, on the learning that we all go through as a parliament. I left MP Jacobs' name for the last in saying and wishing well to the not returning members of Parliament at this time, because as I heard MP Jacobs recount some of her political career, and I thought to myself, it's just to multiply her experiences a few times, and you're talking about my experiences. So just to say that MP Jacobs' 12 years of her experiences as Member of Parliament, Minister, Prime Minister, leader of a political party, and all that comes with it, times that by a few times, and I can feel the Member of Parliament as she today says at this stage, goodbye to the seat in Parliament for now. I too join those who are saying for now. And I see the look on her face, but I have had that kind of look on my face on several occasions as well. And I am still here. I am still here this afternoon, able to say to those of you, I really want to thank all of you, and I truly, honestly believe that, you know, the past 7 months for sure, we have seen and experienced some things as a country that I'm sure we don't want to see and experience again. And that's why I talk about one of the most intense learning curves that we as a parliament and a people, politically speaking, have gone through. I've heard so many of you express the need to collaborate and come together and work across party lines. And I, not only now, but I have long come to the conclusion that unless this takes place, St. Martin will not move forward. And it is because of a lack of this collaborative type of efforts and initiatives, the lack thereof, that for the past years, while we individually and party-wise might have thought that we were making progress, we have not really done so. Because if government and parliament, government and the people, government, parliament and the people cannot find a way to work together on the issues affecting our country, then our individual efforts and labor will be in vain. We have not sufficiently, in my opinion, looked at where our country stands today, what our people are facing today. And that, for example, manifests itself as to the state of this country in the outcome of the recent population census. And if one looks at the outcome of that census, we, members of parliament, people of St. Martin and the government of St. Martin have a huge task ahead of us. I have so often heard the words also coming from my mouth in terms of the need for electoral reform. And my colleague members of parliament, the ministers of government, if we just leave this to lip service, we might, just might, face a shorter term than we have known and which is just behind us. We really have to put our efforts into action, our words into action. And you know, the good thing about it is that right here in Parliament, via our rules of order, we have some tools that we can use. And while the bigger picture definitely includes our ordinances, election ordinance, even constitution, fact is that if we are committed to electoral reform, some changes in what we control, namely our rules of order, can be made to this effect. So members of parliament, those leaving right now for this parliamentary term, I wish you all the best in your endeavors, be they whatever they may be, to the incoming members of parliament and the continuing members of parliament. Again, every opportunity, every opening of a parliament gives us the opportunity to do things differently. Overall speaking, I believe this country, unless we are able to come with a different approach to governing in terms of looking less at ministerial divisions and looking rather at the topics that affect our people, the issue of poverty, crime, immigration, and I can go on, we are not going to make much progress. It's going to look at as such, it's going to feel as such, but in essence, we'll not be making progress for the entire community of St. Martin. However, again, it is an opportunity. We're closing one chapter, opening a new one, and again, that offers us an opportunity to execute and carry out some of the things that we say, especially pertaining to the need to work together. We can come with as many draft initiative laws as we would like to. However, unless we have the buy-in of the government and the people of St. Martin, it will be taking water to the sea, to use a proverbial phrase. So, again, to the members leaving, my very best to all of you. Thank you for keeping me on my toes sometime. And as chairperson of this parliament, and which I have served on several occasions, I've been in, I've been out, I've been in opposition, I've been in coalition, I have been in practically every role thinkable. So to all of those who were part of those roles one way or another, I say thank you and wish the incoming members the best of luck as we continue to work on behalf of the people. And in a very special way, I want to say thank you to the families, the family members of every member of parliament in this room, those continuing and those leaving, for the simple reason that while we can fight back at everything that comes to us and against us, they often carry the brunt without being able to engage in the battle with us, in the political battle that is. So to all of them, including my own, I say thank you. Before I close this meeting, rather, we are now going to, let me see where I am in the process. We're here. Okay, so we have said goodbye to the members of parliament. Everybody had the opportunity to do so. But before we come to the end of this agenda point, and again in which we close this short and eventful parliamentary term, we want to thank the people of St. Martin again for allowing us to serve them in this capacity. And we now have a small token of appreciation from the Parliament and the people of St. Martin to the members who will not be returning in the next term. And we await the Secretariat of Parliament to assist us, and during this time, the meeting will not be adjourned, as we often would say when we have voting and the like. So I am going to, photographers are ready, the staff is ready, and I am going to call these would be for the leaving members. I assume I'm just making sure that we got yes, we got it right. So let me start with the member. We don't have all of the leaving members here. We have MP, let me start with MP Marlin. I invite MP Marlin to accept. It would be kind of unorthodox to leave the chair. Thank you. Thank you. I now ask MP Jacobs to receive her bouquet on behalf of the Parliament and the people of St. Martin. I think rightfully so. The staff of Parliament is making these presentations as they too would like to express their thanks to the members of Parliament who are leaving and who they have been able to serve. And now, thank you, MP Marlin, for your acceptance. Thank you, MP Jacobs, for your acceptance. And right now, the staff of Parliament is sharing a token with all of the members who have served in this parliamentary term. You are definitely part of history as far as that is concerned, because you have served in the shortest parliamentary term. Ladies and gentlemen, before I close this meeting, we have one other item, and we will now. Yes. For this special occasion, we shall leave the chair desk. What has just been revealed are pictures on the wall of Parliament of members of Parliament. And these are pictures of those members who were members of Parliament for the first time in this 6th parliamentary term. I was going to ask you to stand while that was being done, but of course it has been done. So I would ask you to once again give a round of applause for the unveiling. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, with this and my thanks to all of you for your participation and contribution in the discussion, I hereby close this meeting of Parliament. Meeting closed. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, those in the public tribune here in the building of Parliament, good afternoon and welcome back to this public meeting. This is the public meeting on all matters pertaining to the harbor and the airport. This meeting was requested by members of Parliament. The meeting started with a presentation followed by questions by members of Parliament in the first round, answers provided by the minister, and we adjourned the meeting earlier to give the minister the opportunity to provide answers to the questions in the second round of the meeting. And the minister is here, Minister of TIA, that is Minister Grisha Heiliger-Martin, is here now to provide answers to the questions posed in the second round of the meeting by members of Parliament. Just that it is evident to members of the public that in the meantime, so between the two parts of this meeting, we had a meeting that entailed the closing of the parliamentary term following the August 19th election, just so that everyone understands where we are in the meetings of Parliament. And with that, I invite the Minister to take the floor. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to everyone, those listening and viewing as well. Good afternoon to my fellow Swaligans. I'd like to answer the questions in round two. And with that, I'll start with MP Gums, who had no questions in round two. MP Otley had questions only pertaining to the harbor. And the questions are as follows. FCCA also focused on LNG and refueling. Is this the plan for the Minister of TIAT to allow for LNG refueling, as it seems to be the way of the cruise industry to discuss with the port to allow for LNG fueling? LNG fueling is very much a discussion as an alternative in the industry and immediate solutions, while industry leaders further research and develop the solutions that's not fossil fuel based. Currently, hydrogen power is high on the agenda, where technologies are being developed with a cruise ship currently delivered with that is hydrogen ready. The port, based on its high-level plan, will discuss collectively with my person, the Minister of TIAT, and a follow-through based on government's vision regarding the renewable energy. The transition to renewable source cannot solely be port-based, but destination-based as a whole. How are we preparing for the French side port expansion on its cargo revenue? How will it affect the port and the preparations on the Dutch side? Regarding the potential investments on the French side, Port of St. Martin is monitoring it closely. From a business perspective, we have and continue to make required investments to maintain competitiveness and introduce new market solutions. The continued relationship with our carriers is of the highest importance for our team. Furthermore, we continue to enhance our infrastructure by investing in upgrading the port facilities to improve efficiency and capacity service, making the Port of St. Martin more attractive to shippers, ensuring competitive pricing where we evaluate our pricing strategy and consider offering competitive rates or incentives to retain and attract customers, but most importantly, continue to strengthen relationship, building strong partnership with shipping lines, logistic companies, and local businesses to enhance collaboration. The minister did not agree with the marketplace. Can the changes be presented to Parliament? Yes. I also extended an invitation to all the Member of Parliament for the grand opening, and that was publicized. I think when I announced it as well, I think it was in a newspaper, but I will share this as well with Parliament so that it can be documented. Not a problem. Is there an increase in cost or decrease? Legal advice must have been given. Did it need to go on bid? The location has been approved and selected and signed off by the previous Minister of TIAT and Vromi, and based on the FedEx rules, which is the yellow book, there is no change to the contract. So we've mainly make sure abide by the rules of the FIDIC. What are the, so in summary, no, there's no changes to the amount. The amount is budget neutral. What are the plans for the minister to increase our tourism product in regards to training or to allow more pleasant ways of approaching our tourists and doing business in St. Martin? As the Minister of TIAT, I do believe that all industries on the island should have standards and set when it comes to a customer experience, whether it's residents or visitors alike. Nonetheless, the hospitality industry, particularly hotels and restaurants, has required trainings and that their staff must attend and pass when employed. The ministry is currently working on an overall training program for the industry, which will consist of customer service, history and culture, first aid, CPR, and communication and etiquette. That's exactly what the training will entail, and a pilot training program is currently being developed and will focus on the public transportation sector as well. The previous minister started with the harbor on cruise conversion. What is the plan, and has the minister been updated on this? The topic and proposals made by the previous entities related to cruise conversions have not been discussed with me as yet. However, those discussions will happen fairly soon. What is the beautification plan regarding trees, etc.? To enhance the visitor experience and to drive economical growth, we are developing a master plan for the economic and aesthetic enhancement of Phillipsburg. This plan includes initiatives to beautify the area and improve visitors' experience and promote local businesses. Additionally, we introduced the Swaliga Route initiative aimed to identify key locations along popular tourist routes where local art can be displayed. That's something we're working on. It's in the process. Further, we plan to clean and restore national monuments in a phased approach, preserving our historical heritage. A fine was given to the gas station, in regards to the price changes not being into effect that they received on the publication of late. Now, I know this has nothing to do with the airport and the harbor, but I will still answer that question for public consumption. The Department of ETT is responsible for ensuring that the entity that requests said price change is informed once a decision is made. Said entity then relates the approved price changes by way of signed publication via email to their retailers. Since the incident, we have asked all wholesalers to ensure that their retailers' information be provided so that the Department of ETT, which we did receive, to avoid later delays so that we can send emails directly to them when we announce an increase or a decrease. What is the status in regards to the court case based on the PDP and Kimsha Strip? Government of St. Martin received a favorable judgment from the Court of Appeals, to which PDP appealed it before the Supreme Court in the Netherlands. So we're awaiting the judgment of the Supreme Court. Container fees raised in 2014 and throughput fees was increased by 4 cents. You're saying the question is 4%, but 4 cents, if I may just clarify that question. Was it done for the Causeway Bridge? This increase was made to make the investment and particularly cover the associated annual costs. This can be further explained through the visual request by MP Jacobs. I'm going to send a breakdown to Parliament after this meeting, as promised. You mentioned the country selling St. Martin more for tours. Are we aware of the insurance being requested by the cruise industry to sell tours? Does the government have plans to subsidize or stand guarantor for small businesses that want to get in on the action of this type of business? It is not out of the ordinary for the cruise industry to require tour operators to have specific insurance coverage to protect passengers. While we are aware of the importance of this insurance, the budget 2024 does not include any provisioning for providing subsidies to cover or aid in covering said costs. However, as we work towards growing the sector, we will evaluate the feasibility of implementing measures to assist small businesses in meeting the insurance required and other challenges associated with offering tours to the cruise passengers. Plans for dropping off tourists to the market area. We agreed with this as a faction, and we would like to see, this is MP Omar Otley's question, we would like to see this development to ensure activity and life remains in Phillipsburg. With the parking lot, is it the plan of the Ministry of TIAT and the government to build a parking lot structure due to her response? Is there a timeline, a rendering, any coordination with the port? Again, we will ensure that stakeholders, we will ensure with stakeholders that Swaliga Market is a stop, and the parking structure is definitely a midterm strategies, for sure. With the enhancement, it's going to go parallel with the enhancement of Phillipsburg. Then I move over to MP Jacobs' question. I think she had a question for both the port and the airport. Can complete breakdown of revenue streams for port and airport on the situation of unclarity of fees, and what other vendors pay throughput fees and what is it based on. This breakdown, as mentioned before, will be provided in writing at a later date to the Parliament, and the revenue avenues, however, stem from cruise cargo and private vessels and their associated rendered services. Rental income, throughput fee, fueling, and general services making also forms, marketing also forms part of the port revenue streams. Regarding vendors, the throughput fees, as previously applied, are to all. Regarding vendors, throughput fees, as previously applied, are to all fuel transferred in KB. The concession from 2007 is what provides the legal basis from the port to collect such fees. Based on the above, the port is in a position to pay government, as mentioned before, $4 million annually and maintain and develop the facilities that positively impact the economy and the community, and allows the port to focus on its corporate and social responsibility by contributing to a foundation and potential collaboration with this destination-related investment linked to the cruise product and experience. MP Jacobs asks, what is in my purview as a shareholder of the Port of St. Martin, based on the increase and decrease of fees regarding how it affects the cost of living, knowing that in other islands they have import fees? And the answer is kind of the same, that the fees, like I said, hasn't been increased since 2014, so, and I'm still doing an assessment, so I really can't give an answer on that, Madam Chair Lady, through you. Are there hidden fees? If so, what are they, and can we address them to see how we can bring this down? As a government-owned company with audit figures up to 2023, the port's financials are presented annually to the Council of Ministers during the annual general meeting, and all revenues and fee components are transparent and public based on the general terms and conditions. But again, all these questions are related, and I think it will be clearer once I present the members of Parliament with a breakdown. Overviews of loans, MP Jacobs asks, which ones are you talking about? What loans are there currently? So currently the port has its bond loan, which ends in 2035, and a small RBC loan, which ends in 2030, a WIB, which ends in 2029, and Cruise Brand, which ends in 2029. Relates, and that again, I think that breakdown as well will be completed in the report I will be sending to Parliament. Related to the marketplace, changes or delays in the project due to changes made by the Minister. Has a final presentation been made as to what the new marketplace will look, and can it be emailed to? This is the same question, and I stated before, I did invite every member of Parliament to the groundbreaking, and it was publicized, the entire, even a 3D video, so I'll be sending all that information. The James & James was a company, the construction company that was selected by the previous COM for the construction of the new Swaliga Marketplace, and nothing has changed, same amount, same budget, everything remains in that structure. And then the last question from MP Jacobs, marketplace to come, how long is it slated to take? I heard 2025, or is it expected to take longer? I can agree in terms of the temporary location, the parking needs to be minimized, removal of cars making access, and more visible signage to the area. I agree with you as well. It is estimated to take, I said earlier, about 5 to 6 months or 4 to 6 months, and when started. And parking will be addressed with the respective authorities, and we will look into the possible signage, which is not possible signage, they're coming. The signage is coming this week, hopefully by next week. MP Artwell-Arian had no questions, and then MP Kotai, if the insurance remains an issue with no way around it, can Country St. Martin look into port fees to offer the insurance if this is the stumbling block and for the passengers to get off in town? MP Kotai, as mentioned before, through you, Madam Chair Lady, I am busy assessing that. I will await the documents from MP Lacruz suggesting that there was an agreement, and if that's the case, then we'll go with that agreement, but if not, I will find a way to negotiate and find a way around that, because town is a ghost town. MP Kotai asked about tour operators must be paying a fee to the harbor to operate their tours from the harbor. Can part of those monies be allocated towards Country St. Martin insurance to passengers to disembark? MP Kotai is still trying to find ways and means. I'm liking the question. The associated concessions with tour operators cover the basic cost of managing the logistical chain of tours within the facilities. The discussion of the insurance would be the responsibility of the individual tour operators and the agreement with the respective cruise brands. Country St. Martin has a limited role, if any at all, in regards to the insurance. Further, should passengers disembark in town and would be on their own free will, and which at that time takes the liability away from the respective operators. Last question from MP Kotai regarding the harbor. Is this a common practice in our island that if it is unique to our island, can we go in details onto the reasons for this? Most destinations, their downtown areas are further away from the port facilities. Tours normally operate as a closed loop starting and ending at one location. That's common. Further, the return times of tours also factors in the ability to stop in town at the end of the day. So if due to circumstances, tours return in town around 3:30 to 4, you will have a limited to no interest in stopping, as passengers would want to get on their ship and not being late for their departure. That was the end of questions from MP Kotai. Then I move over to MP Duran. Are there any current major court cases that has the government involved for airport? I think I answered this question. No, I didn't. The port has no major court cases, and nor does the airport, not as of recent. They just had one recently, but they settled outside, what I was made to understand. Change of plans for the marketplace, change taking place, no retendering or anything. I see a lot of strange bidding taking place. Can I get an explanation on how the process went? Again, I mentioned earlier, we followed the FIDIC Yellow Book, that policy, so nothing has changed, and I think I answered it clearly in the first question, during the first question. MP Duran also stated that I've been contacted by concerned citizens that certain concessions are being given in one group. Can I have an explanation on that process? PGIA is responsible for concessions. However, I'll speak to PGIA about this concern in detail. And then MP Duran asks if October 8th the arrival hall will be completed, and does this mean more belts for the baggage area and will be available, and will there be a decrease in waiting time? Indeed, yes, through you, Madam Chair Lady, I just came from the airport. I saw the belts. I saw 5-gallon water bottles being streamed, moving around on the belts, testing the belts. There's 3 belts. One of them, a huge belt in between, and 2 major ones, and they're operating. They're ready to be, to work for, they're ready for October 8th. And of course, there'll be for sure, once that area is open, there will be a decrease in waiting time. VIP structure, which will be put out on, and it's being tailored, and MP Duran is saying that it's being tailor-made, the VIP structure is being tailor-made for a particular group. Is that the case? And can I provide clarity on this? I would like to ensure that this is a fair chance for all. PGIA is responsible again for concession stand, the concession, but I will speak with them directly. I know it was already assigned to someone, but I don't have the exact details on that. But I will speak to them if that's a major concern. That's a concern for myself as well, MP Duran. And then MP Brugge, no questions. And that's it. Thank you, Madam Chairlady.
Thank you, Minister, for the answers to those questions. Of course, at this time, members have the opportunity to ask any clarification that they might wish, and I see MP Duran asking for that opportunity. MP Duran, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. My first point of clarification, through you, I would like to ask for the Minister then to provide the old price for the marketplace and the current price so that we can verify indeed that nothing has changed, and also the scope of works. Because I know for sure when you have a tender that is taking place, you have meetings, you have all those different things, information sessions, where the scope of works is detailed in the terms of reference. So if you're saying that the project changed but the scope hasn't changed, is a bit confusing to me. So maybe it's just a matter of, cosmetics. If that is the case, then I would like to get clarity on that. So that's the first clarification. And in regards to the throughput fee and the cost of living, honestly, I don't believe that a clear answer has been given on that point, because it's a lot of extra information, so to speak. But especially even coming out of the GB meeting, when you talk about the fuel clause and all these different things, I feel like no direct answer is being given on that point. With regards to the concessions, in terms of the food concessions, a response was given. They have to check with the airport. To be honest, Madam Chair, I feel like the answers have been rushed. I don't know what is the reason we rush back here if the answers weren't ready. Maybe it's to close off the meeting in this term, I don't know. Even with respect to the presentation that has to be provided to us, with respect to the throughput fees, that is also very important for this meeting moving forward. However, that hasn't been provided as yet. And I understand that it can be done in one day, but then maybe we should have then deferred the meeting. So I would like some clarity from maybe the chair or the minister as to why the meeting was pushed to continue without actually giving substance, so to speak. Because to me, in my humble opinion, I am no wiser now with the information that was just received than I was about 2 hours ago when we went on break. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to for clarification on the points that I brought forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Duran. A reference was made to the answer to your question or your clarification also coming from the chair. Of course, the reconvening of this meeting took place in consultation with the minister, and I'm sure the minister will address your concerns as expressed. But before giving the floor to the minister, I'm going to allow MP Otley, who has requested the floor for clarification, to do that. MP Otley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, Madam Chair, Honorable Minister, thank you for your answers. Most of my answers were pretty much straightforward. However, the one that I really wanted was, I asked specifically, was the raise in the throughput fee and the container fee related to the causeway. The answer given was, it was raised for annual cost. No, I wanted a specific answer to a specific question. Was it raised due to the construction of the Causeway Bridge 2013-14? I would like a specific answer with that. I also, through you, Madam Chair, spoke to your colleague, the Honorable Prime Minister, yesterday, and I said, I know how it is being in that position where you rely on answers from other entities. And I see, with your experience thus far, some answers you would read and halfway stop and say, this ain't cutting it. So you're a little bit wiser. But I must say this, through you, Honorable Chair Lady, the plans, I can sit here, we had a whole speech about party lines and working. The plans, the future plans that you have listed, the plans that I've asked about, and your answers to the plans. I truly hope for the sake of St. Martin that you can carry out these plans, Minister of Tayat. I will hold you accountable. I will write these plans down, and I will bring you back and back to ensure that you are doing what you said you would do. Because if these plans can be carried out, I can tell you St. Martin will be a better place. But do not sell hope to the people of St. Martin. So we're starting a new journey. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt at this time, but still I would like a straight answer on my one question. Was the fees raised due to the Causeway Bridge construction? Thank you very much.
Thank you, MP Otley. I now continue with this round, and I give the floor to MP Lacruz.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. A blessed afternoon to all and Minister. Just a point to highlight the comment that I made before. The conversation was held with the government representative from Royal Caribbean. Wendy is her name. I can't remember her last name. And the conversations were also held with the CEO of the harbor. So he knows exactly everything that took place and the conversations that were held. That's why we broadened the whole idea about the marketplace and added the bus terminal to be able to facilitate the tour buses to stop there. And I do not have anything else from my time in the ministry because my emails and everything were blocked once I became a member of Parliament. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Lacruz. That seems to be the clarifications requested, Minister. Are you ready to go into, Minister, let me, wait, we're not completely through the clarifications. MP Jacobs has a clarification or more. MP Jacobs, you have the floor.
Yes, just one, Madam Chair. I did hear thank you for the opportunity. I did hear the minister mention that information would be provided. I just wanted to be noted for the record exactly what information would be provided in writing so that it's noted for the record.
Thank you, MP Jacobs. That request is clear. Minister, do you request some time before you go into the clarifications?
Yes,
Yes.
Madam Chair Lady. Yes, I would like at least 10 minutes because I really want to answer MP Duran's question regarding the concession. I didn't receive it, in fact, but I want to get that answer for MP Duran and give him a clear clarification. Just 10 minutes? Yes?
Okay, Minister, thank you for that. I will adjourn until 4:30. Meeting adjourned. I now give the floor to the minister after just a brief adjournment for the minister to come back and respond to the issues raised on the point of clarifications by members of parliament. Minister Heiliger, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. MP Duran's clarification, he asks if he can see the difference between how much it's going to cost to build with a new, that it's not a structural change, but it's a, what was the word we used? More of a cosmetic change. So if MP Duran could bear with me, through you, Madam Chair Lady, allow us to maybe finish the entire construction, because based on that the cosmetic change, it looks like it's even going to be less than what is there. So I can come with an actual amount on how much it would cost when it's completed. So you can always hold me at that, through you, Madam Chair Lady, so I could come with the actuals, because I have to remain within the budget that's there. So I can do that as well if MP Duran would like me to do that. I don't have a problem with that. Regarding the throughput fees, I'm getting a little more information. My thing is dying here, but anyway, it went from 0.04 cent to 0.044 cent. That is the actual increase. And
I would just ask the minister, because I get a feeling from members of parliament, if you could just maybe clarify and repeat.
The increase in 2014 went from 0.04 cent to 0.044 cent. So the increase was 0.004. That was the exact increase in 2014. That's one. And then I see that MP Duran is saying that it's still not clear about the throughput fees, but I tried my best in one of the answers, and I said it is not the fuel clause, the price of the fuel clause, and that is bearing on our food costs and our cost of living. It is not only, it is very, to me, from what I've been able to see, the bare minimum. Remember, we are importing food. We have other costs that we have to worry about. We have container costs. We have to worry about the wall. You have to worry about everything surrounding when we import. So the cost of living is not because of the fuel clause. It's partially part of it. And what I can do through you, Madam Chair Lady, is eventually I would like to do a full analysis and breakdown and bring it to Parliament, and I'll even publicize it when I do have it in writing. And then the food concession regarding the VIP. The RFP, there's two questions. So two things that they gave me clarity on. The concession, there were reports came from a concerned citizen regarding that question. There are at present 9 food concessions, and they're operational, while 8 are still pending to open. The food concessions are presently a mix of local foods and international foods. But regarding the VIP, according to the CEO, it was an executive decision of the managing board to not go through the bidding process, and the company Godard was allotted the VIP lounge. This was based on their request. Then I go over to clarifications through MP Otley, and MP Otley says the 2014, the raise in that 0.04 cents is indeed for the construction of the causeway. That's 100% correct. And that MP Otley also said he will hold me accountable for everything I said here. I say, bring it, MP Otley. I want you to make sure you make me accountable, because that's what I did when I sat there. So through you, Madam Chair Lady, I will make sure everything I say I'm going to do, I do. That's usually my mantra. So please, I thank you for that, and I will make sure that everything I say that I'm going to do for the country, I'll do to the utmost of my ability. Then MP Lacruz said he is not able to, he said that I need to ask the CEO regarding the agreement. There's nothing in writing from what I've been able to gather from MP Lacruz, but I'm going to do my own research, and I'll make sure, get to the bottom of it, because I too feel their pain. And I know there's no other place to put them. And unfortunately, on top of that, it's September. It's already a slow season, so it's double whammy for them being in that position. So we're going to try and expedite this marketplace as fast as possible to get them back to where they really and truly belong, their new home. So with that, Madam Chair Lady, and the MP Jacobs asked a breakdown for the record of what we're going to be presenting, and the breakdown entails the financials of the harbor and airport, breakdowns of all their loans, a breakdown of what they owe and how their loans, when the loans are due. And also, I think we are decided to do a breakdown of the costs, the type of operational costs that they have. Yes? And the revenues, and the income, and the total, and all the revenue streams for both airport and harbor as well. So for the record, I have it, I already said it. For the record, I just have to rewind back and make sure I do as I say. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. That's my clarification, and I would like to also thank the Member of Parliament for all the suggestions and the questions, and to have a wonderful afternoon further. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Heiliger Martin, for your clarifications or answers to your clarifications. With this, we have come to the end of the deliberation on this agenda point. Minister, we look forward to receiving from you the documentation and outlines that you have indicated will be sent to Parliament soon. And that would then, as I mentioned, mean that we have come to the end of not only this agenda point, but also the meeting. And I would like to thank the Minister of TIAT, Mrs. Grisha Heiliger Martin, and her support staff for your presence here today and for providing the information to the members of Parliament. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this meeting. I thank you for your participation throughout the day for the different meetings of Parliament and this one as well. And with this, I hereby close this meeting of Parliament. Meeting closed.